Hi class, welcome to your informative speech PowerPoint. This will provide you with a good start on how to put together this very important speech. As you know, this is your first major speech, 7 to 10 minutes long, and you will be using a PowerPoint or Prezi as a visual aid. So let's get started in this PowerPoint. You will see that I reference a lot of links that are already in your learning module, links that are so important for you to review that will again help you understand this process, help you put together your outline, your PowerPoint slides, excuse me, and how to do your research. So what we see here is obviously our academic definition of an informative speech. What I want you to think about is, okay, what do I know about? What's something that I'm interested in that I would want to communicate to this particular audience? And we're going to look at, what is this particular audience? So that's where you are going to start, and you're going to think about what's the best way that I could help my audience to understand this particular process or object or person or whatever it is. And you see that there's different types of informative speeches: to describe, to instruct, or to explain. Just quickly to describe, you could describe one of your favorite artists, or an object, or an animal, or a place that you have visited. Or you want to instruct us the process of. I just had a student say, I love to tie-dye. I want to instruct how to tie-dye. Okay, so the process of tie-dyeing, and she would use a PowerPoint to show us that different process of those steps. To explain a concept, the basic principles of Islam, or an issue, a current issue that's taking place in our society or in media. So think about what you're interested in and what you want to do if you want to describe, instruct, or to explain. Looking at the creative process from your textbook point of view, they're saying that you first want to, first obviously get started, think about your topic, and then you want to do your research, and then you want to create your outline, and then you want to take that information from your outline and put it on note cards to present. And then you want to listen and evaluate your speech to see if you would edit it. So we're going to look at this creative process. This is how you will put together this task of your informative speech. So first you want to think about your topic. And as I mentioned earlier, you want to first start with something you're knowledgeable in, something that you're interested in. You will see that I have a speech guideline link in the module. This kind of gives you a good overview of the speech and also suggestions on how to come up with your topic. But as you know, when you think about your topic, you want to also think about to whom are you speaking to? Who is out there? Who is listening? Going back to chapter 2, we looked at audiences' attitudes, beliefs, and values. What are their attitudes? What do they believe in? What do they value? You look at your audience demographics. You look at, their age, their gender, their educational background. Not only just for this class, if you ever have to deliver another informative speech or any other type of speech, you look at these topics as well. What does your audience know? What don't they know? What do you have to define in your speech? Or is it too complicated? So again, you want to think about all these things as you're selecting your topic. You also want to think about the situation. What's the size of the audience? Where are you speaking? The time? So that's all part of audience analysis, as you remember from chapter 2. So how do you choose a focused informative topic? Okay, so looking at your textbook, and I'm sure you read this in your chapter, and about how you come up with a good topic is you first think about a subject that you're interested in, and then you brainstorm for topics that come in mind. So if you like the subject of, let's just say, baseball, and then you think about topics that you could talk about. Well, the teams, coaching, the fans. So you make this list that comes to mind, And as you're coming up with this list, then you will look at the list and evaluate it. Which ones are really important? Cross off the topics that, you know what, I don't know if my audience is going to really understand. I have 7 to 10 minutes. Will they really understand the issue of baseball rules in this 7 to 10 minutes? So you cross off, you cross-reference. You might do some preliminary research to come up with that topic, but then as you are cross-referencing, you will come up with that perfect topic for your speech. So again, to think about what you're interested in, knowledgeable in, how to come up with a topic here. Think of a subject, jot it down, brainstorm for 6 topics, and then think about your audience and your time frame. So you can even come up with a couple subjects and look at it that way. Then you want to identify your thesis statement or preview of points. This thesis statement, preview of points, central idea. These words are all used interchangeably. So do know what this is. This is at the end of your introduction. You're going to tell us specifically what you want to inform us of, and then those 3 or 4 or 5 main points of the body of your speech. So if you are talking about, I don't know, let's go back to baseball, and let's say we're talking about things to do at a baseball game. Today I want to inform my audience on what they can be doing at a baseball game, professional baseball game, and you want to think about maybe one topic is about cheering your team on. Secondly is having snacks. And thirdly is enjoying the atmosphere of the stadium. So those are 3 main points. And again, guys, I just did that off the top of my head. So you're going to be saying that in your thesis statement, your preview points at the end of your introduction. You now know the body of your particular speech. Then you want to come up with your preparation outline. And I have a link for this. This is what I want you to follow for this class, is the link for the outline guideline. This is across the College Board. Every student at HAC and other colleges use this type of outline guideline. This is what you will be coming up with, or you'll be putting together for your particular speech. And then you do your research. And again, I have a link in the module that shows you specifically how to do your research. How to be unique, how to come up with different types of research items, how to complete your citation information. Remember, you will be verbally citing your sources, your academic sources, and then you will also be having your sources written at the end of your outline in MLA citations. Again, how to research for your speech. You want to think about items that are relevant. You want to think about information that your audience can relate to. You don't want it too complex, but you don't want it too simple. Okay, and think about your audience. They have a variety of learning styles. So think about the best way to present it. You want to commit to a strategy here, an organizational strategy. And what we're looking at here is, okay, now you come up with your points. Let's say you have 3 main points for the body of your speech, and you want to think about what order do I put these points in? Do I put them in chronological order, topical, spatial, comparative? For an informative speech, these are the top orders. And what we're saying is, which point do I present first, second, or third? You'll see the different definitions of these strategies in your textbook, but quickly, chronological and topical are the 2 most popular orders that students use. Chronological is time, first, second, third, fourth. Topical is when you think about your points and you think about what's most important, what's least important. Spatial is, when you think about an organization, such as a school, there's different elements of that particular school. That's, in a sense, what spatial is, as far as putting together these these points in some kind of spatial order. And then comparative, you may be comparing, let's say you're going to do a speech, I want to inform my audience the comparison of badminton to tennis. So that's what your points will be made up of. So you want to think about how will you present the points in your speech. And then lastly, and let me go back here. So, okay, we came up with our topic. Okay, first you brainstormed. You came up with a subject about. You brainstormed for topics. You came up with your topic. You did a little bit of research. You came up with those 3 good, solid focus points to support your goal. Very important, those points, because you repeat them a lot throughout your speech, and then also they support your goal. And then you put together the body of your speech of these 3 main points. Now, think about this. What do we remember when someone presents or when someone does something? It's usually whatever happens in the very beginning and the very end. So you want to finish with a bang, and you want to start with a bang. So think about how you will start your introduction, okay? And the elements of a good introduction. First is that attention getter that makes or breaks your speech, and you want to get the attention of your audience, and then you want to end your speech with a summary, and in this case, some kind of wow statement or some way to end your particular informative speech. Think about the language. Consider your audience. Be accurate, appropriate. Be conversational. The more you practice your speech, the more conversational you will be. Consider your delivery. Okay, so when you are practicing your speech, okay, I want you to be thinking about your extemporaneous style of speaking. What is extemporaneous? That's when you look at a point on your note card and then you speak about it. You look at a point and you speak about it. So if you practice on Monday and then you practice on Tuesday, your speech is not going to sound the same. You're going to have the same information, the same understanding will take place, but because you're speaking in an extemporaneous way, you will be, in a sense, a little different. Your conversation will be a little bit different. Watch the sample speech that I have in your learning module. Again, a link that I want you to watch, and this will help you understand what we are talking about as far as your delivery, your good eye contact. Remember, as if you have an audience, you're looking at a full audience, you're looking at pockets. Do not read your information, and think about your voice and your hand gestures. PowerPoint or Prezi, that's what you'll be using for your visual aid. Again, a college-wide policy. Also, I have a link in the module that shows you how, it gives you more information about your slides and how to offer your PowerPoint. Just remember, key points. We don't want a lot of information, and perhaps a graphic here or two. We always say there's something called the 6-second rule. If your audience does not get that PowerPoint slide in 6 seconds or less, it's not a good visual aid. How do you evaluate your speech? And you will be watching your classmates' speeches. Obviously, you want to think about the content. Okay, what am I communicating? How's my delivery, or how is the delivery? The eye contact, the voice, the gestures, the flow of the speech, the use of pausing, the structure of the speech. And what are we talking about with the structure? We're talking about the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Also, you want to think about the appropriateness of this particular topic and the quality of the support materials. Do you have a lot of different information in that particular speech? Examples, illustrations, anecdotes, and obviously the citations of your speech, citations within your speech. So lastly, and again, this is just the beginning, a launch pad for you. I now want you to continue in the module and click on all the other links. Look at the rubric, what I'll be evaluating you on. Look at all the other items that I talked about. You also want to think about, as you're practicing and putting together your speech, your energy, whether or not you're audience-centered. Okay, are you thinking about to whom you're speaking to as you're speaking? Are you prepared? Right? That's a big part of this, is being prepared and practicing and speaking ethically. And lastly, practice, practice, practice. Practice and time yourself. You could practice and record yourself and then edit from that recording before you put in that particular speech. You know you have one take to put in and to submit for this particular speech and for all your speeches, but you could practice as much as you want. Good luck. continue in the module. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email.